Hey, everybody out there, how you doing? It's your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio, just saying it's another Sunday and another Everything and Nothing podcast. I'm super duper stoked. I wasn't even gonna do any more podcasts until the new year because I want to get a few more things finished up around the house and the holidays are here and everybody's spreading cheer and joy and did some shit. But my son wanted to hang out today, which I was very flattered and privileged. So I was like, come over and do some carpentry work and we can spend some time and then we'll do a podcast together. So this is fantastic, everybody out there. Just want to say hello and make sure that we are all dialed in. Let me check. Right? I'm going to check. Say hello.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Haven't done a podcast in a while. What did we do the last podcast on? Was that Comic-Con?
Yeah. That was the Comic-Con thing.
They always go from something to nothing, right? So.
Yeah, always from everything to nothing, right? That's the motto of my podcast. But it was great to get the phone call from my son today because he wanted to hang out and say hello, and it was great. And mostly because he's out on his own and living in the city, and I just admire that. I have admiration for independence. It means so much to me on so many levels. And now that my son is experiencing it again, he kind of did it a little bit already, but now he's, fully fledged. But, I love the idea of how to be out on your own. And that's basically what you're doing now. And I absolutely admire that a lot, especially, you're a young adult now, and it's great.
But I don't feel too young. I mean, I know I'm young, but I don't feel too young.
As in very?
Yeah, but I don't feel too young now being on my own. I have a couple of roommates and like people in that scene. They all act like, we're young. Let's not care about anything. Let's do this. Let's do that. I don't know. I feel like you got to take care of yourself first. Make sure everything's done where you're living, because you don't want to come home and be miserable. Right? You want to come home and be comfortable. Like, you want to come home like, I know my bed sheets are clean. I know like there's not like animal droppings in my house, like things like that.
Say it on the real, mouse droppings and fucking
shit like that. Like, you want to make sure you're coming home to a clean spot. And
that's important.
Some people don't.
Not everybody feels the same way about that.
I don't feel like people appreciate living on their own as much, or they don't realize what it is. That you got to take care of yourself. Like, nobody's like, picking up after you unless you got the money for a maid.
Wait a minute. You didn't have the money for the maid many years, but you had mom and dad. So you had a free maid up until now, pretty much.
If you don't live at home, you don't got the maid, or if you don't have a spouse that likes to pick up after you,
right?
Then you gotta make sure you pick up after yourself.
You got to do that shit for yourself. I love that idea, and I love the idea that you're finally realizing it's kind of important. We have this idea, right? And you've said it, right? Well, I don't want to do that right now. And I said, well, shit, I don't want to do a lot of things right now, but that has to be done. And if you don't do it, ain't nobody else going to do it.
Yeah, but it's also different when you live in Manhattan. Manhattan's glorified for no reason because there's roaches everywhere and there's rats everywhere. And if you're not picking up after yourself, they find their way into your fucking humble abode, unless you live in a penthouse with maids.
Here we go with the maids again.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of people who live in certain parts of the city, they have cleaning ladies in their building and things like that. Probably, mine doesn't.
No, you don't even really live in a building. It's a 3-floor walk up, and it basically at one time was probably a single family home.
Yeah, in the fucking 40s, and there was 72 Irish people living in one house. Yeah.
100% true. But we got a couple of PBRs here today, right?
Yeah, we're not sponsored by PBR.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by PBR. We got a couple of PBRs, but the whole idea is that we went full
Birkin.
Yeah, full Birkin and full white trash right here. We got the cozy up in this son bitch right here. We ain't playing. Red, white, and blue. America.
Mine matches my shirt.
That's crazy. I got the beer cozies here. This was the come and get it one when we had the beer cozies right there. We got a couple of PBRs.
This shirt says "Fuck, that's delicious." That's this guy Action Bronson.
Action Bronson. Another. He's from Queens, from Rockaway.
And they wouldn't let me wear this in my old studio.
Well, because the word it said.
It said "fuck," but I always try to wear it because I like this sweater. They wouldn't let me wear it.
But that's also part of being on your own too, being that independent thing, right? So being on your own means you get to wear what you want, dress how you want, do I mean, basically do anything you want in your own apartment to a certain extent,
Yeah, which is weird going into the work environment, because I have that strong mentality of like, yo, I'm a person. Like, why do you gotta?
Right.
It's like I agree with all that. Like, don't bother me. Like, don't harass me. Like shit like that. Like for every sexual race or whatever. Like I believe in that. So when you go to work, I bring that with me wherever I go, and I go to work, and I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm a professional. You're an adult. You're a professional.
Right.
Why is what I'm wearing an issue? Then you realize that it might not be your employer, but maybe
Right.
like the people that use the service that you're providing, like
Of
they might
course.
have a problem with it. So,
Of course. It has nothing to do with the immediate people. It's the idea of the customer and the base of your clientele. So you don't want to offend anybody. That's the hardest part. But being on your own allows you to do that shit. So when you leave work, you're like, I'm wearing that fucking shirt and I'm putting it on, no matter what it says, because it's yours. But that's part of being on your own, right? And I love the idea that you talk about how it's like, I get it now when you're like, well, even though you're not using it, still put it away. Because if you just take things out all the time and leave them around, everything's just going to be out. Nobody's putting nothing away.
Yeah. I feel like everything has to have a spot.
Right.
Everything has to have a spot. You can't have things like right now I have no closet in the room I'm staying in my apartment. So I have like just like 1 or 2 bags and like 1 box.
Right.
And they're just under my desk.
Right.
That's their spot right now. But I want to eventually just throw it away. But I'm just like deciding what I want to do with it.
So what are we going to do? Do we decide we're putting up shelves? You're going to take the dresser.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the dresser because I need a dresser.
Right. And it's good. It's a small one. It ain't going to take up much space. Yeah. So you get the dresser and, this way you can put your shit away because there's no closet in there. But then what are we going to do for we going to build some shelves?
Yeah, there's a bookshelf in my room right now. I don't want the bookshelf.
Right.
Because when you walk in the room, it's a small room. So when you walk in, the bookshelf is towering to your right.
Right.
So you feel kind of like
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
You're all like,
yeah,
there's too much clutter.
Yeah, because the way I have the bed, like the room is small, so I wanted to make every part of the room functioning. So there's a bed, and then there's
Let's see what some of these people got to say about being on their own.
The whole wall this way and this way I have an L-shaped desk. So that whole area of the room is my writing station because I write. Like yesterday, I wrote for 5 hours straight. Yesterday, I wrote 53 pages in a new script. I can't get
this cord this day. So let's see what everybody's talking about out here.
That part of the room is an L-shaped desk, and then we have the TV hanging on the wall and the bed. Like I don't need anything else. Everything should be on the wall, and then all the space in the room is functioning. That's just how I look at it.
And it's good. Like I've been up to your place. It's small, but it is a 3-bedroom. You got 2 roommates. Brooklyn Mom, say hello. Debbie's with us. Valerie's with us. What up, Val? CC. Yo, Thomas Mad Dog. Big shout out to Thomas Mad Dog sending over some holiday wishes. It was very nice of you. That's what's up right there, Yolanda's with us. Eva John. Who else? Who else is with us? Arthur. Leslie Arthur. Arthur Leslie. Arthur Leslie or Leslie Arthur? It's got to be one of them. I'm not sure, Chris. But they'll figure it out. That's why they got that name. But that's some cool stuff, right? Getting your own place, being out on your own, and getting to, pick the furniture you want to have, put the artwork you want to have on the walls, and do your own thing.
Yeah, but now, like I was saying, like I don't feel too young because I remember when I used to live at home, I used to always want posters up. I used to want to have vinyls hung on the wall, and now I'm just like, I want the room to look like a sophisticated person who takes care of himself lives in this space. Like I have like a nice leather bed frame. I have the bed always made. Even though I'm the only person in the room, I want to walk into it and I don't want to feel surrounded by a bunch of like chaotic energy. I want to go in my room and just be like, all right, cool. I got to turn my TV on. I don't really got to look around and like fascinate myself with like a Led Zeppelin, even though I have Led Zeppelin tattooed on my body forever.
Right.
But I remember when I was younger.
But it's different. It's different to have it in a visual space. Every minute.
Yeah, when I was younger, I wanted these things because I wanted to get lost in the idea that they brought to me.
Right.
Now I'm just like, I'm cool with the plain white wall.
Yeah. Now you're more like, okay, I have to live here. Things need to be in a calm fashion. This is my place. I rest my head. And I used to say that a lot to you, and I'm glad, you're finally, taking notice to it, is that you have to be comfortable in your space.
Yeah.
You have to want to go there, and that has to be like like a bear has a cave. It has to be the same for you. You have to be able to go there and be able to relax your mind, relax your body, so that you can take on the daily tasks and routine of every day. You need that.
Yeah, and it's a slow process because I had money saved to move out, and then I moved out, bought a whole bunch of shit, and then the room is still not done yet.
Right.
So it's like it's taking a couple minutes.
Well, again, these are the things you learn when you're on your own, is because you have to learn to be sensible about certain things.
Yeah.
But you'll get that. You have to have listen to me out there, and we all know this, right? All us seasoned folks. That only comes with experience. You can't get that any other way. You can't imagine it. You couldn't envision it. You have to live it. So you have to be part of the experience.
It's better each time. The first time I moved out on my own,
I
signed the lease for a year. It was like $3,000 up front, which was like all my savings at the time. So I moved in with no furniture.
Right.
This time I had money saved.
Right.
I got a
few things.
A decent spot. I was able to get stuff and still have money in the city.
And you're in the city.
And I'm right in the city. So
I did it
better this time.
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Yeah. And that's the great thing about it, because being out on your own allows you to have the ability to decide where you want to be at all times. So even your living arrangement, right? You want to be in the city. My son's a screenplay writer, and he wants to be in that business, and you have to be surrounded by it. You have to be in the energy where it lives. And being in New York City, that's it, man. That is the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. No two ways about it. How do you like living in the city now?
It's all right. It's kind of not.
I keep banging my head.
It's kind of not any different than living anywhere else. Once you're living in it, it becomes the normal. It's not like impressive anymore. Oh, it's New York City. I literally take one train. I'm right in Times Square. I'm where everybody wants to be. I know all the cool spots. I've been going there since I was a kid. I don't go to Times Square, but I know all the cool spots in fucking Soho, wherever people want to go.
Just hit Chris up. He'll give you all the info and shit.
Yeah, I know all the spots, but it doesn't become.
In his whole 24 years of experience, he knows all the spots.
Yeah, well, this
most
I don't
of them
go to like the spots that a lot of mainstream people go to. I don't really go anywhere, but like I don't go to clubs. Right. That's where everybody from Staten Island who I used to know goes to sit. They're all going to the clubs. I don't go to the clubs.
Yep.
I don't really go to the big bars.
You ain't hanging out? Well, you don't need to go to the big bars because you already know what you like to drink. So it's not necessary. It's like, I'm not going over there charging $14 for that drink. I go over to the neighborhood spot over here and spend $4 and get the same drink, right?
Go to Patsy's.
Yeah.
Patsy's is apparently the first Patsy's in
one of the most historic places to get
across the street.
Pizza,
my apartment.
In case you don't know.
And then they opened up a bar next door to Patsy's Pizza Grill and Bar now.
Oh, nice.
Used to just be like a
cranberry muffin.
You walk in, you get a slice of pizza.
Who eats just the tops?
That's it. Yeah, they used to be you walk in, just get a slice of pizza. Now they opened up like a bar next to it. You go in there, I get a vodka soda that's like $14 anywhere, at $12 minimum. Then you go there, it's $6. That's how much you should pay for a vodka soda.
Right.
Because it's not like you're getting top shelf. You're getting fucking Absolute or something gross.
And not only that, it's a neighborhood spot. Patsy's is not like down in the meatpacking district.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
I work at 2 different studios. I just quit one because I got a better gig at another place. But that first place that I used to work at, Spring, you could go across the street to like Nancy Whiskey, and it's a hole in the wall spot. So you think it's like a cool spot, but then the prices are Tribeca prices.
Oh. No.
So it's like it looks like it wants to be that dive bar.
The old neighborhood bar.
Yeah, like like the bars that there's still bars in the city where
there's a bunch of them. I've been to many of them.
Get 2 beers and a shot for $8.
Yeah,
those places still exist, but then anywhere else you go, it's fucking 2 beers and a shot is like $32.
Sometimes even more.
Yeah. So and then this place that across the street from my old job was that. Then you go to a place like Patsy's, or you go, I forgot the name of the place, but it's like on 14th Street and some obscure avenue, and it's 2 beers and a shot for $8.
Yeah, what up? How about those Big Rich? Big Rich is on with us. Yo, what up? My brother's on. Rich? Say hello to your uncle.
What's going on, Uncle Rich?
But these are the things that you find out when you live on your own, because you're getting that chance to go and explore and experiment.
Since I moved out to the city, I haven't been out once. I thought I was going to move to the city and I was going to be at every function, every event. But
Mhm.
really, what it is I just, since I'm in the city, I'm able to work more. And I was working both gigs for a little bit, and then you're just like home for an hour, back at work, home for 2 hours, back at work, and then fuck that. But I haven't been out one time since I moved out. I mean, I've only been out for a month.
You're only out a month now, so
but I haven't been
you got to
out
give it a
once,
chance.
one time.
Well, you're not acclimated. You know, you got to acclimate to the space first. You know, that's the deal. You acclimate to your space first, and then you start the exploring. You wait till you get comfortable. You know where the spot is. You can go on that corner and get that, and then go on this corner and get that. You know, if you walk to this train, it's 10 minutes. If you got to walk to the other train, you got to acclimate yourself to the space. And then once you get acclimated, like, okay, now I'm comfortable. I'm home. Let me go find some shit to do.
It only recently has started feeling like, all right, I live here.
Right.
You know, only recently, like I'm able to lay down, like instantly fall asleep. I'm not like,
Right.
my roommate's gonna come to my room.
Yeah, you
like,
got to point the mic more forward.
Like what's what's the deal? You know, the first couple of nights I was living in, my roommate, he was fucking banging on my door all the time, and I was like, man, I moved out so I don't have to do this. Not that you ever like came into my room or anything, but it's like I moved out so I don't gotta deal with anyone.
Right.
But now it's chill. Fucking,
it's better.
Yeah, we don't talk. That's how I like it. You know, the new guy moved in.
Nice. It's so nice to have roommates, so I don't talk to them.
Yeah, the new guy moved in.
I love that idea.
It's been 10 days since he's moved in. I've seen him twice.
2 times.
Cool with me. I don't want to talk to nobody. You know, but the people I work with now, I've only known them for 2 weeks because I got a new job. So I haven't really invited myself or got invited out yet, but they're the overnight crew. They're like the scoundrels.
Oh, but you're part of the Scale crew, no?
Yeah, I'm part of it. But I don't want to hang out with Skells outside of work if I don't have to.
Oh, all right.
You know?
I guess it's preference.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, when I go outside of work, I want to hang out with somebody who sees
regular 9 to 5ers.
Who sees the daylight.
Oh, 9 to 5ers.
Yeah.
You want to see? I'm a product of both because I used to work 2 jobs. I worked nights and days. So I'd be part of both crews because I get up early in the morning years ago to work construction. So I was up at the crack of dawn. And then on, 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, sometimes I'd go to work at 10 o'clock at night, wouldn't come home till 5 in the morning. So I've been part of both. You know, I've been part of the day crawlers and the night crawlers.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done both.
And you like the day crawlers better?
I like the day shift better. People who complain about the 9 to 5, it's because they never worked the night shift.
Right.
You never worked the night shift. You work the night shift, your whole life is different.
Yes.
Like I didn't wake up until 20 minutes ago, but I've been up since 7 in the morning because your body doesn't start. Now I'm used to being up at 4 o'clock to get to work for 6, and I'm not home until about 6 in the morning.
Right.
And then I'm sleeping until 4 o'clock again the next day, and never adjust. Like I'm off. I was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm off tomorrow.
Okay.
And by Monday, I'm going to be used to being up, and then right back to overnight.
Gotcha.
So your whole fucking
your time, your body's not it's not adjusting to the time yet, but it will if you stay more on a steady course.
No, I am adjusted to that. I'm not adjusted to living normally.
Oh, anymore.
So like I'm off these 4 days, and my day doesn't start until 5 p.m. and I'm up until 5 in the morning.
Right.
And I'm not in sync with anybody.
Like
I'm not in sync with any other people that I know.
Yep.
Or anything.
I get it.
I have to be in my own little.
you're like in the sleep. What do they call that? The hiatus. You're not up or down. You're like right in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like yesterday,
you're in purgatory.
I'm in the place where nobody is because
the land of misfit toys.
When I'm up, everyone's sleeping.
Right.
So like yesterday, I was supposed to go do a photo shoot. The guy bailed on me.
Right.
I ended up writing from 9:30 until 2 in the morning, and then was up until 5, and then woke up at 7 to come here.
Yeah.
Like that's what I have to deal with now, which is fine. Like I could do it now. I'm young, whatever. But
yeah,
eventually you got to find some. I have to put myself in a position where I'm able to function normally.
Yeah, you got to find the groove. You got to. Well, one or two things are going to happen. Either you have to make it a decision, I think, at one point, because you have to let them know at work. You're like, yo, I either got to work nights all the time or I got to work days all the time.
Well, they have me on nights strictly now, but me personally, I'll do it. I've been doing it for 6 months now because I took one fucking overnight shift at Spring Studios, and then that was it.
Then they were like, oh, he'll work nights.
Yeah. And now at this new spot, when I sent my application in I sent my resume to them twice because I knew they were another studio in the city. Then when they finally emailed me back, I was just applying for a job there. I didn't know that it was for overnight crew. But I got the job. It was for overnight crew. But it was good because this overnight crew is the one that set up the shoots for the next day. So I got to learn whatever I didn't already know about photo equipment. So I got to learn all of it.
Oh, which is good.
So it's good. So it's
Well, any new experience is always a good experience, right?
Yeah, but this one was really beneficial.
Yo, what up, Cliffy?
For what I want to do in my career.
Susan's with us. Who else? It's funny. Cliffy Rowan, working the technology. I'm working 24 hours a day. Was on call. Yeah, man. Yo, Cliffy. Yo, I'm having a hard time to get all you knuckleheads together. Chris, you know how it is now, and he knows too, right? So it's different, right? When you go out on your own and you're young like you, sometimes it's a good time because you and your boys can get together a little bit more, right?
I get together with nobody now.
Right. Well, I mean, in general, the idea is now that you have the freedom at any time you want. When you're home and you're younger, you don't necessarily have that, right? But as you get older, and you'll experience this as well, is that you start to have families and you do things and your relationships, they take you into different directions. So I've been trying to get this podcast together with me and the boys that we grew up together in Brooklyn in the projects, and I can't seem to get all of us together at one time. Cliffy, your uncle Cliffy, your uncle Mike, Daryl, Dave Tuma, maybe Dave Hertz. You know, I'm trying to get a couple of heads together to get everything, but I think that's one of the advantages as you get a little bit older, like at your age, is that now I'm not saying you do all the time, but if you want to go hang out with your boys, like you can do it anytime you want now.
Yeah, but the only thing is my friends live, most of them in Staten Island.
Right.
It's fucking 3 hours to get to Staten Island now. Like I'm like it's easier for me to get to Pennsylvania than to Staten Island.
Well, you're the, well,
I'm
but I also don't necessarily mean it that way too, because now your boys can come and meet you in the city, right? I mean,
that's the thing about Staten Island's this weird little world. Nobody does fucking balls on Staten Island.
Listen, I don't want to say it, but I mean, hey, listen, Staten Island is what it is.
Yeah, nobody does anything, and since I've been off of it for 2 years now, like you do so much more. Like nobody, like unless you have a car on Staten Island and you can just drive to your friend's house,
right?
Nobody does anything else. Like nobody gets on the train. But given the train system sucks.
Oh, of course it does. And so because it goes to a ferry. It's not like you get into the city from the train.
No, like I mean, like even like if I was going to Frankie's house, I take the train. But if Frankie was coming to my house, unless he has the car, he's not coming. He's only driving, and that's most of the people in Staten Island. They only drive, and for them to come to me, like, oh, I got to get on the train, then I got to get on the ferry, and then I got to go to a bar, then we got to get drunk, then I got to take the train and the ferry back home. That's a hassle. I won't get home till 7 a.m. And so I kind of understand, but at the same time, nobody does anything on Staten Island. Not a fucking thing, unless they're going to the local bar by an Uber and then coming back home in an Uber. You know, nobody's Ubering to the city from Staten Island. It's like $80.
Isn't that strange, right? All of us live close enough to the city, but far enough to make it inconvenient.
Yeah. Unless you really want to go and you really want to go out and do something, but it's so much easier for you to just stay home and invite over your same 5 friends that you know that will just drive to your house.
Right.
And then just stay by you until you
all my boys out there listening. All my boys would be more than willing to, and again, different, right? Because we're a little bit older and we have cars and accessibility to certain things. But Cliffy, let's make this thing happen, man. Big Rich, please reach out to Daryl Brown, reach out to Dave Tuma. Let's get Dave Hertz on board, you know, and let's get together and do a podcast. You know, let's talk about back in the day. I'm really going to start that. You know, of course, I want you to come being more involved, and I always want my son around me, but that's neither here nor there. But, you know, you should try that. You and your boys should do a podcast there.
Yeah, I tried that one time with my friend, remember?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of my fault because the podcast we did, I didn't really like it, so I didn't do anything with it.
But you should. You should do it. You guys should come here and do a podcast.
Those guys that come here would be the end of the fucking world.
Right, because they'd be like, "Oh my god!"
One, nobody sees the opportunity in anything. Nobody is able to like foresee the potential. I had one kid be really into it, and he
what was the kid's name?
That guy was Paul.
And
then I had like one guy who was really into. He's like, "Dude, I want to do a podcast with you. This, that, the other thing." They asked you one time. I'm like, "Yo, set it up for Saturday. Hit me up Saturday. We're free Saturday. My dad does it Sunday. We can go there Saturday, and we have the whole room.
Or you could even do it Sunday. Just do it earlier.
Just earlier or later.
Or
whatever
later.
it is, but the time comes around.
Right.
I had a photo shoot. I don't want to talk shit just in case he's listening, because I just got the job with him. He's a photographer. We were supposed to shoot on this.
Did he call you to tell you he wasn't coming?
He didn't. We were supposed to meet at 8:00, so I went and bought the outfit. I was doing a 1950s.
Right.
I want to do 2 looks. I want to do a professional look for headshots for potential jobs, whatever, or acting gigs. And then I want to do a 1950s greaser fun kind of for my Instagram.
Right.
So I went out,
Cool
bought the outfit, whatever. We were supposed to shoot at 8:00 in Brooklyn. I texted him at 5, like, because I didn't hear from him all day. Given I didn't wake up till 5, but 5 to 8, you have a good period of time. I can go.
Right.
I was able to buy the outfit by 6:30, and I would have been on the train by 7 at the place at 8. 7:00. Yo, man, usually I don't cancel this late, but I had something come up. I was sleeping.
Listen,
I was like, fine, no problem.
Could be worse. He could have not just showed up.
Well,
and you went there.
Well, he had to answer me. I work with the guy.
Right.
He's my boss.
Well,
So
I mean,
how would
you
that
don't
look?
Yes. No, I know that, but I'm still saying. But again, I'm going to go back to what the name of the podcast is today, is that how to be on your own, how to be out on your own. And that's part of being out on your own, is knowing that you have that ability to do all those things that you want to do at any
Which is
time
cool.
you
I
want.
love the fact that my days are always booked.
Yeah.
My days are always booked. I always feel like I'm doing something, and the days that I'm not booked, I'm doing for me. So I love
Yes.
that. I love that I'm always booked with work, photo shoots, different shoots, just helping people on their sets.
Yep.
Or writing all day, or seeing my girlfriend, or seeing my friend when I have the
Going
time.
to the movies, going to have a drink across the street, going to Patsy's and getting a slice when you want.
Going to my mom's or my dad's, like, whatever it is.
Word
but
up.
the thing is, if I have to say my generation one more fucking time, I'm gonna shoot myself in the face. People my age, we love to flake. It's so easy because it's like, I guess back in the day, if you didn't show up, you didn't show up. I'm sure that, but also you didn't have anything else.
You didn't
to
have
do.
the ability to get out of it.
You didn't have the ability to say, "Hey man, sorry, I can't show up." It's like so easy to do that, or it's so easy not.
Yeah, you actually had to talk to somebody or see them.
Yeah,
it was a lot more, face value to it.
So fucking easy to just ignore someone's text message or just not show up.
Well, we had that problem too, right? Trying to get people to come help out with the podcast. And I'm going to throw this out there again for everybody out there. If you know anybody who's into technology and wants to be part of the Everything and Nothing podcast studio, who's willing to, listen to me, I'm willing to pay if you're willing to show up on time and do what you got to do and know what's going on. We had that problem a lot. We were trying to get people
show up an hour late is better than not coming ever at all.
Right. Or telling somebody you're going to be late and then show up, or just do what you say you're going to do. One or the other.
I made several posts. I had literally dozens of people respond to me, and then the people I picked didn't show up.
Flaky, didn't show up. Rescheduled. The one guy rescheduled 3 times till I told him, "Listen, buddy, no more rescheduled. I'm done. Thanks, man."
Actually, the studio I work for now, they have an in-house video editor for audio and video, and I told him about it.
Right,
and he was like, "Let me know more information." So I was going to actually today.
Oh, so that's good. So maybe we can find somebody to come by and help us out.
Yeah, no, this guy.
Do you hear the humming noise in the background?
Yeah,
there's a ground issue somewhere, and I'm not sure where it is. Yeah. But again, you need somebody who knows about that stuff a little bit more than me. And then hopefully, we can find somebody to get on board, because the beginning of the year, that's my plan. My beginning of the year the plan is to get this thing tightened up as best I can. And by the end of January, I want to be able to rent this space out for people who want to do podcasts or filming in here or what have you. I mean, the studio is basically,
I think this place would be perfect
for sound,
for photo.
Yeah.
Motion, a little tight, but I think that's
well, if you needed a scene, you could shoot a scene in here.
Oh yeah, definitely a scene. But I'm saying like a motion, like if there was like a moving kind of thing.
Right.
But like I said, the idea I have with the seamless.
Yeah, we'll put the seamless on the wall over there.
Perfect for shooting something small, for like a small time photographer.
Yep.
Like obviously like Kenneth Cole's not going to come here and shoot like.
Well, you never know. I mean, I did work for Kenneth Cole, so maybe he will.
Bad example, but
yeah. But yeah, I get that. So that's the idea. And again, being out on your own gives you the ability and allows you to do those things, right? So, having the ability to work, here, actually, when you were living here and then working there, I mean, it's great, but it's an inconvenience getting back and forth. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. So that's always a great thing about being out on your own, because when you decide you want to move somewhere, a lot of times you move close to where you work.
Yeah. That's a big thing. Like, generally people move where it's cheaper and less convenient.
Right.
So if your day is 8 hours at work and then you live 2 hours from your job,
It is.
your day is 12 hours then,
Yep.
opposed to just like 10.
Right.
And those 2 hours make a difference. You can shower, eat, and
You can do anything, really.
and change in those 2 hours. And instead
You can act like a human being.
Yeah. Instead you get
in
home
those
and,
2 hours.
Yeah. That's another thing about the overnight though. You don't ever get time to be a human being. Ever. You just sleep until your shift and then you go right to work and then
Yeah, you become a little bit of a zombie. You know, you get really acclimated to the
it's weird.
darkness. Isn't that crazy? When you think about those things, it's funny how people say that. And it's like, yeah, I like, you know, what do you like better, Dad? You know, and I ask those questions. You like daytime or nighttime? Some people really enjoy the nightlife. I mean, I certainly did. I liked being out at night. There's something about the night and the night air.
Yeah, something different about it.
There's something very different about it.
The freaks come out at night.
Yeah, it's true. It's
cool.
the true. There was a song back in the day. Freaks come out at night.
Yeah. I was on the way to meet you one time when you went out for
when we did the Christmas thing.
No, when you went out for Ronnie's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Just recently.
Oh yeah.
When I got off the train at 50th Street on the E line, I got offered cocaine 4 times as I got off the train. That's the kind of shit that I like. It's dope.
That's the nighttime. That's the nightlife in the city.
When the shit happens, like that's when people like the day is great. Like the summertime is definitely my favorite time.
Yes.
You feel free.
Right. Well, we're August babies.
Yeah, but there's something about the night in general, especially right after the summer and right before the winter. I guess that's fall.
Fall.
When you just can wear.
And some people call it autumn.
Yeah, when you can just wear a sweater and you're not like too cold, not too sweaty, and you're just like really comfortable with yourself, like you're chilling, like you're feeling good. There's just something great about that. Like it smells nice, it feels good, and people are still outside, and you get a mixture of every kind of culture coming together, and it just feels really good. That's the best time of the year. At night, though, during the day, it's cool too, but at night, there's just something like you feel like you're gonna see something that you shouldn't see at night. Like there might be a wizard or something around who's doing shit, like
right.
But really, it's just a guy on meth bugging out, like causing sparks in the back of an alley, like scraping something on a wall. And you're like, yo, it's fucking a warlock.
Listen to me. I tell everybody, I've worked in the nightclubs for so many years in the city. Shit, almost 16 years. May you rest in peace, Mr. Hugh Thompson, my best friend. One of my best friends my entire life. I have quite a few close friends from Brooklyn, but Hugh and I really had a bond. We spent a lot of time together, especially nighttime, working in the clubs. But I've seen it. I've seen celebrities do shit that most people couldn't even imagine. And I've been around people that have done things that I want to say should never be remembered. That's probably the best way I could put it. Some things are very off the wall, and some things are just really extremely cool. And people have this. I love the idea of being in New York City at night because all apprehension goes out the window, right? Nobody really gives a shit about what anybody else thinks.
No.
Not even
especially in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said that, but like,
yes,
you see, I don't want to get into the whole fucking gender thing, but like you see people that are so comfortable with themselves in the city. That's how I'm going to leave that.
Yeah.
But you see people that are so comfortable with themselves that you're just kind of like, damn, am I doing it wrong? Because that guy looks like he is fucking stomping, or that lady looks like she's stomping. Like that person is really comfortable with themselves.
Yes, I really admire that. I admire the fact that people go to New York for that, and people who live in New York,
nobody minds it.
Nobody really takes a second look.
Nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing.
Yeah,
nobody wants to stop and look at you. Maybe you get a couple, but then you get the one douchebag who wants to say something, but like, not really.
For the most part.
No, you can just walk around doing anything. You can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I
love that.
Genuinely feel like people do those kinds of things because they're not comfortable with themselves, but it's different story. But they do it. They're free to do it there.
Right. And I think it's a great expression. New York City has a great expression for people because
especially on the trains.
Yes.
Yo, on the trains you see the most shit at all times. Yo, the funniest thing happened the other day. So I'm on the train. It's like 4:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning. Just got out of work. Kind of still up a little bit. Get on the 6 train. Yo, the 6 train. People don't talk about the 6 train because I guess.
Yo, what up, Mark?
A lot of people don't take the 6 train because it's a very obscure train. Only goes all the way uptown to the Bronx, and it's kind of like scary.
Thank you, Susan.
It's fucking scary on the 6 train. And
Yo, the 6 train is the best, man. I too used to take the 6 train out to the Bronx
but
when I
that's what I'm
lived in the
saying. The
club.
6 train is the most packed train I've ever been on.
Yeah.
And I've been on all the trains, and I've never really been on the 456 line, but it's the most packed train I've ever been on. And at the time of the morning, it's only every cart and bench is taken up with a homeless person, and they're just sleeping. So I get on the train. There's like a guy or a lady sitting here, and there's a homeless dude sleeping, like sprawled out, but his legs are like tucked up on all the way on this end.
Right.
So I'm sitting in between this guy because I'm like super tired or whatever, or maybe I don't remember. But I was sitting down, and some other dude gets on. He's like in the fresh track suit, like dark green, fresh Timbs on, like hood on, like lit bopping music, and he gets on. He's just like he looks like, because it smells. He's just like, damn, this is gross. Like, and then like 20 minutes in, like 10 minutes into the train ride, the dude next to me sprawls out. And I'm like, oh, so I move over, and then he just looks at this dude, just starts dying laughing, because he's just like, yo, you could tell he's like, what the fuck does this guy think it is, a bed? So me and him look at each other and start laughing. He's like, yo. So we just start laughing. I just thought that was like crazy. It's like, this dude, that's this guy's bed.
Yo, it is
fucking 6 train.
Yes.
And it was just.
And I bet you every time of the night on certain days he's in that spot right there.
Yeah, like,
sleeping. You know.
Dude, like I noticed, that's one thing I noticed about the city. I noticed a few things. Like I live in an area that is probably 100% considered low income housing.
Yes.
So I learned that like people don't take care of these low income housing areas, and the people who live there are not going to do it either, because why would they make something that's shitty better?
Look better.
They make it shittier.
It's a double-edged sword is what it is.
Yeah. So also you learn about during the nightlife when the homeless people have to sleep. They come out of wherever they're asking for money, and then they come to the places where that they found refuge.
Right.
And it's train stations, inside of trains, wherever. And then
alleyways.
You don't see people like this guy has so much of nothing that like people just respect that guy's spot. Like nobody's bothering this guy.
Nobody bothers him. They let him sleep there.
That's that dude's spot. Like obviously sometimes you get a cop who like bothers person, but it's usually like a drunk guy who's like yelling or something.
Right.
And, like they usually, but like that's that guy's spot. That's all that guy has. He has like his 4 bags, his couple pairs of socks, and he has that spot.
Yeah.
So like that's that. I don't know, for some reason I respect that.
Yo, me too. Well, I mean, I love the idea. First of all, you know me, the idea of independence, and I want to say, a lot of people don't realize. I know we feel bad, right? And it's bad time when you see homeless people, especially when it's cold out, right? You don't want to see that. You don't want to see nobody get cold. But the idea is that these people are not. Most of them are not doing this because they're vagrants and they want to be begging for money or whatever. They're doing it because it's for them. It's complete independence. There's no tie. There's no need for things. Like there's nothing. They don't want anything. They don't need anything.
Yeah, but I feel like here's my thought about it, because I see some like. I've always seen them, and you've always seen them. Anybody who's ever been to the city always sees homeless people, but I'm like around them every day, like they're on my block and stuff, and it's like you're doing this here in a city for a reason.
Yeah,
because you can't go be homeless in the woods; you die.
Right.
You're homeless for a reason in the city because you do scrounge up a couple bucks by the end of the week.
Right.
You can eat a little bit.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of them die in the street or whatever it goes on, but like you don't really see many homeless people in Pennsylvania. Well, you can't really be homeless there.
Right. But the other part of that is this. The other part of it is these people that are there, they're there because they lost whatever it is, their sense of worth. They lost it there.
They lost it there. Well, that's the thing I was saying before about like cockroaches. Are cockroaches a product of a city, or is a city like not a product of a cockroach, obviously, but is the city a product of like that dirty thing? So it's like, is a homeless person a product of the city, or is the city a product of like, you can't be a product of a homeless. So it doesn't really work out, but it's like, did that guy become homeless because it's a city? Right. Or is he going to be homeless anyway?
Right. Or would he be homeless anywhere? But no, I don't think that's the case. Nope.
Yeah, but I know because also when I was out in LA on the way to LA,
if you're gonna be homeless, we got the toughest homeless people in the world in New York City. Yeah. But if you're gonna be homeless, California's a place to be homeless. I've seen homeless people in California. They don't look homeless.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like there's a lot of homeless people on the way to California too. So because California and
Thomas.
New York are hotspots. So
yo, what up, Ninny?
On the way there, are you going there for something and you don't find it? Because I really feel like there's a lot of opportunity just to make minimum wage work in New York. like for a fact, like a lot of these homeless people could have jobs, and a
And-
lot of the homeless people you can blatantly tell when they're just like drug addicts. Like you
Right.
get kids that like
Well, yeah, you know the difference. You see the
yeah,
difference.
you just get kids that
see
look like me going on the train in normal clothes, but they're
Right.
just like really dirty because they've probably been binging for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and they're just like ran out of money. It's like you can go get a fucking job and be a junkie. You
Right.
can go get a job and then do drugs after you work.
Right.
Like I've seen it. I've physically seen
Right.
junkies
But
work.
you know, a lot of these people become homeless and whatever that they're doing to get money or they're begging or whatever they're doing. The reason you do it in big cities is because of the population. There's enough people. But I think that New York City and California especially have this allure that people want to be there. And you know, I guess it's that whole configuration of, hey, if I can't make it, I can always become homeless here and I can beg for money because there's a lot of people. And I think we have the most, I want to say in the city life, we all have this mentality of, yo, it's tough here. It's really tough here. So
it's only tough if you don't have the drive or ambition or the need or want to go do anything.
no, that, but I'm going past that. You're already homeless. So the idea is that the people here already know how tough it is to make it.
Then you come here.
So we're more empathetic. Like, in other words, you know, every once in a while, even if people are like, yo, you should go get a fucking job, every once in a while, everybody's like, yo,
Here's $1.
Here's $1. Here's $2 or whatever it is, because we know it's tough to make it in
I'm
these
the first
areas.
person to give people, like, if I have food, I'm
Right.
always that guy.
Yeah.
But at the same
Yeah, of
time, I
course.
see kids my age.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you could be a waiter.
Well, listen to me. Addiction is the worst thing. We know that.
Yeah,
So
maybe not all of them are addicted to
No,
something.
maybe not. But
Maybe
I'm
a
just
lot of
saying.
them are just like they have like that, like, I'm gonna go be a struggling artist, and then it's
Well,
like, you can struggle.
that's a
work.
drug too, because people have this mentality is that their drug is that they're gonna, oh, it's the next one, I'll make it on the next one. Oh, the next one's gonna be the big one, and I'm gonna make it on the next one. So yes, that becomes a drug too, and you know how it is. You need your fix. So once
That's what I was trying to say about is that kind of person a product of society, or a society a product of that kind of person? I guess what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, because it's like, you could, like, if society didn't exist, none of that would exist. Like, not society. I don't want to sound like fucking the Joker movie, but I mean,
Right.
like, the city itself, like, where like dreams come true. Like, if
Right.
that notion didn't exist, would people be coming here and then just like dying in the street? Probably not.
no, because there would be no reason for them to come here. There would be no
But that's what I
allure.
mean. So like, if there's so many people here doing that kind of thing, like you see people throwing garbage in the street all the time, is that why there's so many roaches and rats? Probably.
Of course.
So they are a product of this thing. So that's the same thing with the homeless people or the drug addicted people, because they can't achieve something. So it's like, yo, bag of dope, $5, dope. Like,
Yep.
that's dope.
Right. Well, that's achievable.
Yeah. I can't
That's the
become
difference.
Brad Pitt, but I can
Right.
feel like Brad Pitt after I smoke crack.
Right.
Like, that's literally
And
what happens.
don't
in
smoke
the
crack
city.
out there. It's okay.
No, you're not fucking Macaulay Culkin. Don't smoke crack.
It's
Okay? You don't have Home Alone money. Fuck you.
it's okay to think about crack. It's not okay to smoke the crack.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like these things are all a product of the city.
Yeah.
Specifically, not society. 'Cause society.
But could you
encompasses all
say,
of it.
like we were talking before, could you say that about somewhere else too?
Yeah.
Right?
Go to Denver. There's a million homeless people.
Homeless people.
Probably
well,
some crackheads.
Well, the idea of the allure now, because they were one of the first states to legalize
Now
recreational
there's a lot
marijuana.
of people probably going there. They're like, I'm gonna smoke weed and make money from it because it's legal here. Like,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
You were gonna make money from weed. You would have did it in New York where it was illegal and there was a need for it.
Yes. You're gonna make. You're not
You-
gonna.
you
The
weren't a
people who are
hustler.
making money on that in Denver are the people who were
Owned the
investing in
thing,
it
yeah.
before that.
Yeah. If you ain't a hustler, you're not making money from
Yep.
marijuana.
Period. But the idea, I really, here's the best part about being out on your own for me, and that always was having the ability to
Be a homeless person if you wanted
to basically create my own space, right? Because I talk about that a lot about the idea of being comfortable with being alone. That was my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing when I get out on my own. Was the thing was that I could, if I chose to be alone, I could be alone. I didn't have to have somebody there. I didn't need, it wasn't that I didn't need and I didn't want. It was more the fact that if I just wanted to be in my own space and in my own head, I didn't have to come home to Big Rich or Mom or Don or whoever. It was the idea that if I just wanted to chill by myself, I had that ability.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing. My favorite thing is having the ability to just decide today, I don't want nobody around me.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing, because it's like I have 2 roommates, so it's like, what happens if they're like,
Yeah.
I just like sit there, ignore them, and then 10 minutes later, I'm like coming out to get a bottle of water, and it's like, I'm only not here if you're looking for me, but I'm here for me. You know, like that's
funny shit.
Yeah, like, I could imagine having like,
that could be part of one of your skits.
I'm chilling, nothing's going on, then I got like my roommate. It's like, yo, I'm just
what
like,
up? You want to hang out? I'm like you turn the lights on, you shut the TV off
in your own room. You late. He goes away eventually, then you come out like 30 minutes later, like take a shit. And he's like, yo, dude, I was calling
just
for you. I was
knocked
like,
on your door.
I was like, yo, I wasn't here just now. Like, I know I was doing something, bro.
Oh, that's funny shit. I never thought of that. That's an interesting approach.
You have a roommate.
I like
you gotta
that.
worry about that. You're never really, really, really alone when you have a roommate.
That's funny. It's so come and go. Please. But yeah, I think that's a wonderful feeling. That's my favorite feeling of how, I always say about being out on my own is the fact that, you decide today I'm done. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want to do nothing else. And you just, either you order takeout or you eat some leftover something that didn't end up as a science project. And then you don't have to deal with that.
All in all, I think the best thing about living in the city is you could just get anywhere except for Staten Island within like an hour. Like that's why
you go to Staten Island, you need a jet or a helicopter.
It's only the forgotten borough. I mean, it's only not the forgotten borough when you live there. Because like you live there, it's like, what does everybody else mean? This is fucking great. Like you have the mall, and then when you live in the other 4 boroughs where like everybody else lives,
and you're from Brooklyn, in case everybody out there don't know. Yes, he spent a lot of his, but he didn't spend his. You know what's funny?
I spent an equal amount of time, just about.
Almost. You've actually spent less time in Staten Island.
Yeah, I spent 12 in
Brooklyn,
and like 10 or 11 in Staten Island.
Yeah, 10 because a year here. A year, well, you were still over there.
I was still there, but just on my own.
On your own.
So like it was like 12 and 11.
12, yeah. So almost equal amounts of time.
Equal amount.
Right.
But once you're anywhere else besides Staten Island, then you realize how fucking far away it is. And I'm sure they could do something about that, but they have the ferry that goes fucking 10 miles an hour over the water.
How are they gonna do something about moving Staten Island?
Fucking tunnel that a bus goes through, like anything, like.
He's a genius.
Yeah, dude.
He's
Elon
just
Musk.
gonna move Staten Island.
We need the Staten Island Elon Musk. That's what we need. Like,
yo,
why didn't you guys just put a fucking thing that goes to the fucking bridge? Bro? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, how am I supposed to meet my guy in Brooklyn? Pound the pot.
That's funny shit.
That's what we would have. And then everybody, let's do it. Like, we have Joey Salads. Fucking takes pisses in his own mouth. He's running for Congress. Joey Salads. I swear to God, we have a kid named Joey Salads who got famous for making like vines and shit.
Oh, that's funny.
And now he's running for Congress, and he just like posts like Donald Trump all day. Everybody's like, "Yo, you know this isn't gonna make you win, right?" So somebody posted he used to piss in his mouth for views. So now everybody's like, "Yo, this is gonna be a presidential campaign?"
That is funny shit.
Pissing into his own mouth. Like, Joey Salads, what are you gonna do about getting into Manhattan from Staten Island, bro? Fucking amp it up.
Yeah, he's like, yo, like make the tunnel happen and shit.
Yeah, make the fucking supercar that goes from fucking Annandale to fucking Midtown.
Right into Midtown to the 59th Street Bridge.
Yeah, what happens if I want to go to Brooklyn?
Oh, like, that's funny stuff. You gotta take
the fucking bus all the way from Annandale all the way to the fucking bridge, and then take another bus. Joey Como.
Listen, so we're gonna get out of this message right now, and the biggest message you can have is try not to move to Staten Island for some strange reason.
Unless you want to do heroin and date a girl with fake teeth. That's all you do out there.
You know where all the new meth labs are?
Yeah. I somehow met the only
take that bridge ride over to Staten Island.
I somehow met the only normal girl from fucking Staten Island.
I can't believe that. Oh my goodness. So who else we got here?
My boy Will's in here.
Shannon's on with us. What's up? Will is on with us?
He said he was.
Too many. My buddy Mark said too many mobsters in Staten Island.
No, there's too many fake mobs. You know who my uncle is?
Well, he's not you.
Who's your uncle? No, Al Capone. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Everybody knows somebody. My dad makes the best doorknobs My dad is the best box factory you ever seen. My grandmother makes the best pizza sauce. Yeah, I'm going out to play tonight. You gonna be there? Yeah, I'm gonna see Victoria for the 15th time this week. It's gonna be dope. The last week, I think somebody got stabbed at the bar down the block from my house. The first piece of gang activity that ever happened on Staten Island. So that's how I know that everybody since I grew up there has been talking shit about people getting murdered and this and that. Shut up. Just shut up. Get out for Staten Island. Go do something else. Go fucking buy your girlfriend a candy G-string.
But you know,
go do something.
go buy your girlfriend a candy G-string
Yeah.
while you smoking methamphetamine.
Yeah, instead of eating her fucking Newport box. Like, it's time to stop.
Newport box.
Every girl out there smokes Newports and they think they're hot with their fucking wrinkles on their forehead at 28.
Oh,
Fuck you. Yeah, that's my.
Brought to you by.
I do love Staten Island, though. Staten Island.
I know you do.
Yeah,
you talk about. Listen to me. I know you do. You have a feather in your hat for Staten Island.
Yeah,
I know you do.
There's a piece of my. I didn't grow up there, but I had like my most memorable moments so far on Staten Island. Made my first film there. Like had my first girlfriend there.
Yeah.
Fucking graduated high school there. Yeah. Like
your boys.
Made some of my best friends ever on Staten Island. It's just now that I'm. Because like I've spent 11 years there, and now it's the point in time where I'm going to spend 11 years somewhere else.
I didn't get it on the mic though.
That's good.
But that's good, and I always say that, right? Exploring and getting out there and experiencing new things.
Here's my problem with Staten Island. You ready?
It's part of growing up.
Nobody there has left Staten Island, and they want to kill themselves. Everybody from Staten Island's depressed. It's like, motherfucker, have you seen Germany yet? I haven't seen. I don't even have a passport. How are you going to want to kill yourself? Say life sucks. Say your job sucks.
If you've never been anywhere.
You haven't even left. You haven't even left our side of the country. And that's majority of people I know from Staten Island. Maybe they had a Disney World trip when they were a kid, but they just went down the fucking coast. Go across the fucking water. Then if you still want to kill yourself, go hang yourself in Vietnam. Is
that the answer?
That's the answer. That's how you solve all the depression.
All in Staten Island.
In Staten Island.
In Staten Island.
Brooklyn, I don't know. You guys are weird. You guys are fucked up.
We're all the best in Brooklyn. Yeah. The best of the best. We're all just...
In Brooklyn, you don't want to kill yourself. You want to kill somebody else.
Yes. No, but that's all right. Piss them off. You get killed. Yeah. But I love that idea. I love the idea of what you're doing, the sense of independence. Really, my favorite thing about you embarking on this journey is that you get to soul search on your own. Soul searching on your own and having your own place, they kind of go hand in hand, because now you get this idea of, I get to be who I really want to be. I mean, wholeheartedly, right? So your space gets to reflect who you are as a person. And then the things you do outside your space kind of, they put you in a direction where you see yourself dwelling over your lifetime.
Yeah. Big ass desk.
Yeah.
I've always wanted like a big desk. That's my own desk.
Right.
I have my own desk now. I have a computer chair. Like yesterday, like, no offense to you or my mom, but when I'm writing and then somebody comes home, I'm done.
Of course.
I can't finish writing. I can't, even if I'm like in the best thing I've ever written, I can't. The second the door opens and somebody enters like the bubble, that even though it's not my bubble because I'm in somebody else's house, there's a bubble around me.
Right.
It gets popped instantly. Now it's like I'm in my room, in my apartment. That's my bubble. It can't be broken.
Right.
Because if one of my roommates comes into my room,
right,
that's on site.
Right.
Because I pay to be in this room.
Right.
That's like you come into my dwelling and then I fucking throw something at your head.
Right.
That's on you, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
if you don't knock before you enter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about that because like I have my headphones in. Even if they're knocking,
right,
I don't fucking hear you, and that's fine because I don't have to.
Is that the equivalent, like we were talking before, is turning the lights off?
Yeah,
when
I don't have to oblige to you. But like if I'm living in your house or my mother's house or whoever's house, and then you fucking knocking, I'm not answering,
like, yo, dude,
and then you just kick in. And it's like, fuck you doing? You got to do something. Like now I don't have to do shit. My rent's paid. I don't have to fucking answer to nobody unless I'm like a piece of shit roommate, which I'm not.
Right.
Then I don't have to answer to nobody. I can write all day. My bubble's not popped.
And I love that. I love that idea of having the independence, being able to, decide what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to do it. I mean, that's to me is the greatest feeling ever. The idea of being independent, not having to. I don't even think about like worrying about what other people think about it. It's always the idea of thinking to yourself, like, do I really give a shit at this point?
No.
It's kind of like, no, I'm good.
And because when I'm not writing now, or like reading or like doing something with my girlfriend, I'm like working in production.
Yeah.
So even if I'm not physically setting up the lights or like building sets, I'm equipping all the studios with equipment like for motion or still photography. So it's like my brain's always racking the possibilities of why this production company wants this specific equipment. So when I'm not writing or like fantasizing about a world or something I want to one day produce, I'm producing kind of in my other time.
Well, you're releasing some of that emotion by doing it for somebody else.
Yeah,
it gives you that satisfaction, and that's the satisfaction.
It lets me also see that like owning all that kind of stuff is attainable, because like only one guy owns that.
Of course,
even though he like basically won the lottery. He was like a fisher, and he was doing a competition. He caught the biggest fish in the competition. He won a couple $1 million and invested it into the studio.
Oh, which is great.
That's the story I heard. That's kind of seems legit.
Well, it's a fish story.
Yeah.
Until you know if it's true.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems legit. So, but it also lets me see that if I play my cards right in life, I could write a script tomorrow and show somebody, and I might get $2 million.
You ain't shitting.
And I can
of course
invest properly, and it just shows me that everything that is attainable to run a production company, whether it's your size or the size of Jack or the size of Spring, it's attainable by a human being. So it's good to see that every single day.
Right. What does Uncle Rich say? I'll give you her number.
What did he say?
He said, my ex-wife's in Staten Island. I'll give you a number. Rich said, so the roommates have been warned, so they know.
Yeah, don't be stepping in my room. You'll get a mason jar to the side of the head. Hold my pens in it.
I love the idea of the soul's journey. The soul's journey begins when you fully claim independence, and everybody out there knows how I feel about that. Your full life's journey starts when you claim your independence, and how you claim your independence is by being independent,
by wiping your own ass.
Word, right? I talked about that the weekend you moved out. I talked about the toilet paper rule.
But also Big Daddy.
Yeah,
I go wipe my own ass.
I could wipe my own ass.
Yeah, when you wipe your own, and you don't leave skid marks in the bowl.
Yeah, you don't. Right.
Because you'll imagine you have somebody come over your house and they go to use your bath, and they just they don't really know you that well. Yeah. You're kind of cool, like, oh, he got his own apartment,
and you got a floater in there.
And then your roommate left a piece of shit in the toilet, and then all of a sudden you hear the front door closing, and it's like, wait, that's not the bathroom sound. That's the front door sound, and then the bitch just left, or the man just left, like whoever you fuck with. Like,
yeah, you're like,
it's like, bitch, I was gonna make you cod tonight.
Yeah,
and now you ain't making nothing. Now you're eating cod with your fucking shit ass roommate. That's it.
Sit next to him, and you can't take that disgusted look off your face. You're like, really,
bro? You left the fucking
you left the floater in the bowl. Ruined my weekend. I got nothing now.
Yeah.
What's up?
Now I gotta play Xbox with you. That's what I gotta do this weekend, you fuck. Right? Or I go hang out with the guy on the corner. There's I have a guy who holds down my block. I don't know if anybody knows about that who's listening. But
listen to me. If you're from the hood in Brooklyn like we were, in our neighborhoods, there was always one crazy person that hung around the neighborhood. He held down the block. Like, I have one. We had Crazy George.
I don't know my
and Poochie. Name, we had Crazy George and Poochie. They held down the neighborhood.
That's it.
They set poor Poochie on fire. That was the most fucked up thing. He fell asleep on the bench. Poor second. I can't. That is horrible.
Did he even scream?
Well, that's like he ran down. He was on fire. The poor guy.
Did he even scream? Though?
Yeah, he was screaming, running down the block, on fire.
I feel like the guys who hold down blocks don't feel nothing. You crack him in the head with a sink. And
Funny thing, you said that later on in life, somebody collapsed half his skull. That was horrible. And he walked around. He had half his head was caved in. That's really bad. That's Poochie. Big shout out to Poochie out there, man. Loved him. Neighborhood guy. I couldn't even tell you how much. It's funny. I think about things like that now. And now that you're out, even though you're in the city, you're in Spanish Harlem. You're still in a neighborhood. That's a neighborhood like we grew up. Yeah. There's a guy who, like you said, holds down your block.
There's a guy who holds down my block. And he's like the least suspecting person. Like, he doesn't look like he can fight. He probably has a gun on, whatever he does. But like, he's literally an old dude. He's in like a bubble jacket all the time, and he's just
Right.
like kind of hanging out in his cane, hat on, hood
Right.
on, smoking a cigarette anytime you see him.
Right.
And then sometimes you come outside and there's like 10 people around him, or he's by himself, or there's like 2 people with him, or
Yeah.
he's in a car smoking a joint or a blunt,
Yeah.
whatever he's doing. Like, but he's always on my block.
He's holding down the block.
Always on my block.
He's the neighborhood mascot.
Every day.
Yeah, he ain't
But
playing.
it's like there's never a time where I'm coming or going that he's not there.
Right.
So he literally has to be there all the time unless he's sleeping.
Right.
Because like he was there when I'm leaving for work and he's there when I'm coming home from work.
Yeah. Well, that was the same with either Poochie or Crazy George. I don't care what's funny is because you could walk. If you walk the 4 corners of the neighborhood that I lived in, you would come across him at some point of the day. I don't care where you are. At some point of that day, you would most likely see one of them because they were always in the neighborhood somewhere. They could tell you anything you wanted to know. They could tell you where the store was, where anything was. Yo, did you see what's his name? No, I seen him. Yeah. May not have been that same day.
But you seen him.
But he seems.
I seen him once.
I seen him. He's around. I seen him. Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is, recently you could get your news, your weather, what was happening if the store in the corner was closed.
Fucking rain later.
Yeah, or somebody got held up, or did you hear what happened to what's his name or what's her name? The neighborhood, the
neighborhood watch.
He got.
They're the ones doing the crimes.
He knew it. He knew what was going on. No, they didn't mess around. You didn't mess around in their neighborhood either. If somebody else came around and tried to impede on their territory, it would never happen.
It's my corner.
Word up. It wouldn't be even talked about. Just be like, keep moving, keep it moving. Don't you worry. I got this one right here.
That's crazy.
I got this one right here. That's how you know you're in a neighborhood. But I like that. You know that for me. Community is everything. Speaking of community, the 2 lovely Brooklyn moms, big shout out to Brooklyn moms go diving. Because yesterday we did the whole holiday Christmas thing, big shout out to my brother, Big Rich, Danny G, and everybody else who helped, the sorority, fraternity, the Taris. They came out and helped, but we had a lot of fun. A lot of, we did some charity things and for the community and everything. Chocolate milk, gifts for the kids. Uncle Rich gave out some comic books. We had some games for them. The Brooklyn moms did it up. They really did. They hooked that shit up. And that's the thing about neighborhoods. Brooklyn, we do it the best. Brooklyn spread love is the Brooklyn way. Biggie said it best. But the idea of living in a neighborhood, I like that idea. Even though, like, you're uptown, it's still a neighborhood. It still feels like a neighborhood over by you too, right?
Yeah, it's a neighborhood.
Local stores.
Yeah.
Right. What are you getting?
I don't, but I know what everyone gets.
Yeah, you get the bodegas.
You get a. Well, I mean, I would get it. You got a bacon, egg, and cheese, or you get a fucking Arizona, or if you're going out and you want to get a 40, or you get a Lucy.
Word.
Or you get whatever they're selling back there. I know even the deli in Staten Island, you get Viagra's if you need it.
Yeah.
That's what you could get. You get anything at your local deli.
At your neighborhood deli.
You get whatever. You go in there, let me get a blue guy. That's for some people that means Percocet. Right. Guys, I want my dick hard to be for 5 hours tonight. Depending on who you were.
But it's true. You can only get that in the neighborhood, but you got to know the spots.
Yeah.
You got to be from the neighborhood to get the neighborhood spots. You can't go in there
looking like a narc.
Word. Well, you can't go in there looking like a fucking doo-doo either.
You can't go in there and go, can I have a cigarette?
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like, you want a pack? They're $28 now.
They're $72.50 for a pack of cigarettes in New York City.
You go in there, right? Let me get a Lucy. Let me get 3 for 1. Like,
yep.
They
know.
Cool.
Then they know.
Or you hand them a napkin.
Yeah.
You hand the guy a napkin, he'll give you back a cigarette.
Yeah.
But you gotta, then you give them $1.75. But not a lot of guys, like, the Staten Island guys don't know that. I learned that in Queens from my boy. He was like, yo, just give them go in there, ask them for a napkin, and then give it back to them, and then they give you a cigarette. Like,
yep.
If you fucking go to Staten Island, you hit them, what the fuck is this? Why are you giving me this? Like, they'll think you blew your nose in it or something.
But that's the idea of being in the neighborhood. Once you get familiar with the neighborhood, you know what to do, you know the signs, you know what to look for, you know the people. That's really fantastic.
If somebody starts yelling at you at 3 a.m. in my neighborhood or anywhere else, you just keep going.
You keep that's word up.
You don't turn around. You don't fucking ask them what they want. Definitely don't talk back to them. That's worse than talk back to your mother. You get hurt.
He said the Staten Island guys, they buy the food stamps. I go, yeah, they do, because you could sell them. Yo, you get 50 cents on $1 for them bad boys. You sell the food stamps, you get 50 cents. Sometimes you get 65 cents for $1 of food stamps. Depends on the neighborhood where you go. So I just want to say today was a great surprise that my son came, spent the day with me. We did some carpentry work upstairs, working on the built-ins, trying to get some stuff done around the house before the year ends so that I can start a big project upstairs. So the one floor of the house, he giggles like a little schoolgirl. I love it. One of the projects upstairs I want to start will start probably like end of January, but it's going to be renovation work upstairs in the kitchen and the dining room area. You know, I'm taking down some walls, I'm putting in a brand new kitchen, the whole 9 yards. The first floor of the house, once I'm done with these built-ins, that's it. First floor of my house is absolutely renovated from top to bottom, soup to nuts, ceiling to floor. And I'm very excited. I did every bit of the work myself. So, yes, it's been a little bit of a long road, but that's what being out on your own means. And today's podcast was all about that. Listen to me, folks out there. I don't care if you're out on your own or you're involved or something, but you have to be out on your own, if you understand what I mean.
You don't be buying no Rolexes or Breitlings or new cars or anything like that if you don't live on your fucking own yet.
Yeah.
That's why people get mad at you. Not because they're hating on my shit. They're hating on me because I work and I got a new fucking car. No, dick, because rent is $1,500 when you don't live at home. And 100%. You're not going to be able to have a new car for $800 a month and buy a $10,000 watch and go out to the club every weekend when you got to fucking feed yourself and learn how to fucking cook and buy toilet paper.
So some of the things I said did stick, which is good. Yeah. I love that.
I kind of knew it already, and then
but you needed to feel it.
And now I'm kind of getting it, but I get it. Like, I want a car. Cars are dope, but you also don't need a car in the city.
No.
But it's like you can't afford a car for $300 a month, and insurance $200 a month, and your rent for $900 a month, and your food bill for $300 a month, and your fucking toiletry bill for $100 a month.
Word.
And have a car and buy a new watch.
Yeah, can't do that.
Can't do it. It's impossible. Literally, it's impossible.
All right. So listen to me, folks out there. This is a wrap. This has been another Everything and Nothing podcast with your boy from Brooklyn and my son, Christopher, who I absolutely adore. And today's podcast, listen to me. I'm going to say this again. We all know this. We all have a voice. We should all be heard and we should all be seen. Don't hold back. Get out there and be on your own, no matter what it takes. Independence is a great way and a great feeling to have. And I tell you, folks, I couldn't be happier. The holiday seasons are upon us. Brooklyn Moms did a great job yesterday. And I got to go. That's my son, Mr. Christopher. Peace out.
Peace out.